As we close out 2025, Brazil's livestock sector stands at the center of some of the most significant global market shifts of the year. We saw record breaking beef exports, shifting demand from China and the United States, as well as evolving supply dynamics on the domestic market. To help us make sense of what defined this remarkable year and what to watch as we move into 2026, I'm joined today by Larissa Alvarez, Market Intelligence Analyst at StoneX Brazil. Good morning, Larissa.
Morning, Johanna. It's always a pleasure to be here with you and to talk about the key developments shaping Brazil's livestock sector.
The pleasure is all mine. So let's start with a recap of 2025, a historic year for Brazilian beef exports. What were the main drivers behind this exceptional performance?
2025 has truly been a historic year for Brazilian beef exports. Before the year even ends, it has already become a year with the highest export volumes in history. And there's a detail that really illustrates the scale of this achievement. September, October, and November each surpassed 300,000 tons of exports, a milestone never before reached in 3 consecutive months. With the close of November, shipments climbed to 2.7 million tons, setting a new monthly record. So, even with 1 month still left in the year, Brazil's beef exports were already 19 above the level seen in 2024. In terms of destinations, China accounted for 58% of purchases in October, followed by the European Union, Chile, and the Philippines. But as we moved into November, China's share eased to 55%, and the United States rose to fifth place with 3%, possibly reflecting the end of tariff hikes earlier in this year.
Now, as you just alluded to, China and the US were central to 2025's market narrative. How did policy changes and geopolitical dynamics shape Brazilian beef demand?
That's a great question because 2025 was really shaped by politics, especially what happened between China, the US, and Brazil. Let's start with the US. In July, the announcement of a 50% tariff on Brazilian beef created a lot of uncertainty. And since Brazilian beef had already filled its annual quota back in January, the effective tariff would have jumped to 74%. In theory, that should have made Brazilian export practically uncompetitive. But in November, the US removed the additional 50% after 3 months of restriction. It's important to note that even with all this volatility, the US is still remain Brazil's second largest beef export destination in 2025. It's also worth looking at the profile of what Brazil ships to the US because more than 90% is frozen beef, which is cheaper and mainly used in industrial processing. But during the tariff shock, we saw an unusual rise in chilled, higher value beef, which surpassed 20% of shipments for the first time in September and October. This likely reflects an effort to keep trade following by adjusting product mix and prices. And there's the domestic angle in the US too, because the beef inflation there exceeded 14% in September. And since Brazilian beef is typically cheaper than Australian or Canadian beef, keeping Brazil in the market helps ease pressure on consumers. And that's one reason the tariff reversal happened so quickly. China, meanwhile, introduced another geopolitical layer to the year. Toward the end of 2024, Beijing announced safeguard investigations into beef imports, responding to pressure from Chinese cattle producers who have faced falling domestic prices since 2019. These measures will affect not only Brazil, but also other major suppliers like Argentina, Uruguay, and Australia. But the key development is that China has now postponed the start of these investigations twice, the latest extension announced on November 24, this 2025. So, in one hand, there is pressure to limit cheaper imported beef. On
Hmm.
the other, there is concern that restricting imports could tighten supply and push inflation higher. In its latest statement, Beijing said the complexity of the case requires more time, so moving the start of the investigations to January 26th of 2026. So in both the US and China, policy decisions played a major role, but in different ways. And Brazil managed to navigate both fronts while keeping global demand remarkably strong.
Okay. Well, let's stay on supply dynamics because they shifted a lot this year. What were the major developments in slaughter, replacement markets, and the cattle cycle?
When we talk about supply this year, the big theme has been the inversion of the cattle cycle, or the turning point that signals a shift in herd dynamic. The first clear sign came from slaughter data. Brazil has been processing cattle at exceptionally high levels for the past 2 years. Monthly slaughter has averaged around 3 million head. And in the third quarter of 2025, it even reached 3.6 million head, the highest volume ever recorded. To put this in perspective, before 2022, Brazil typically operated between 2.6 and 3 million head per month. In other words, what used to be a historical ceiling has now become the new floor. And this expansion reflects rapid gains in scale and a much larger available herd. When we break down slaughter by category,
Hmm.
male cattle maintain their usual share, but the participation of females increased significantly.
Right.
And that increase is key because the strong growth in beef production over the past 2 years has been driven largely by the higher number of female cattle heading to slaughter. And that brings us to the implications. In periods of abundant supply, producers often take advantage of good margins by selling more females. But because females are also breeding stock, there is a natural limit to how long this can continue. At some point, they must be retained again to rebuild the herd, and that moment is what characterizes this cycle inversion. And we already seeing early signs of this shift. Over the past 3 months, the number of females being slaughtered in Brazil has started to decline, suggesting that producers may be entering in the herd rebuilding phase. And this marks an important turning point for the supply outlook going into 2026.
Understood. Well, as we look ahead to 2026, then what do you think are the biggest risks and opportunities for the Brazilian livestock sector?
Well, we see both important opportunities and some risk for the Brazilian livestock sector. On the positive side, the broader economic environment is quite favorable. We're entering a year of expected economic expansion, lower unemployment, a weaker exchange rate, and easing inflation. All of this has helped stabilize interest rates, and it even opens the door to potential rate cuts ahead, which will support a stronger growth in the medium term. But with high employment levels, domestic beef consumption also tends to rise. So we're looking at a scenario of solid internal demand. There is, however, one point of caution. Financial delinquency rates have been increased, meaning more households are struggling to keep up with loan and credit payments. And that raises the question of how much disposable income will actually translate into consumption next year, especially considering that 2026 is also a presidential election year. On the external front, the outlook is also constructive. because demand from major buyers like China and the US should remain firm, and other key destinations in Brazil's export mix are also expected to maintain strong purchasing levels. Of course, as we've seen this year, politics can influence trade flows, but
Hmm.
structurally, global demand looks healthy heading into 2026. And if both domestic and external demand stays strong, attention naturally turns to supply. The big theme here is the turning point of the cattle cycle. If the cycle really is inverting, meaning more female retention and consequently fewer finished animals available for slaughter, then supply could tighten just as demand is rising. And in that scenario, beef prices will have significant room to increase, creating strong upward pressure across the entire value chain.
Right. Larissa, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for all your insight today and throughout the year. And thank you to all our viewers for watching. For more financial content, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And happy holidays.